Before I get to the actual list, I'm going to give an honorable mention and bring up the 2017 AL MVP voting between Aaron Judge and Jose Altuve. In a vote that really leaned Altuve's way, a lot of people still debate to this day if Judge should have won the award instead. Both were very close in terms of Baseball Reference WAR, while Judge finished with a considerably higher Fangraph WAR than Altuve. Judge definitely brought more power, hitting 52 homers, which was a rookie record at the time, with a .627 slugging and .422 on base. Altuve, on the other hand, had the much higher batting average, hitting .346 compared to Judge's .284, still had a really good on-base percentage at .410, and had much more stolen bases, 32, compared to Judge's 8. Altuve also struck out far less, striking out only 84 times compared to Judge's major league leading 208 times. However, when it comes to Altuve, and this is more hindsight, there was the sign stealing scandal, but I'm looking at it from the time frame when it happened, when we didn't know about it. All in all, I think there's definitely a case for Judge to have won the award, but I understand why Altuve won. I'll let you all debate about it in the comments. Now, let's get to the list. Starting off my list at number 10, I have Alex Rodriguez in 2002. Remember the movie Moneyball when they talked about all the great players the 2002 A's had? Oh yeah, I don't either. Well, those A's weren't just a group of cheap pickups based off analytics. They actually had some good players, and one of them was Miguel Tejada. Tejada did have a great season, hitting .308 with a .354 on base, a .508 slugging, 34 homers, and 131 RBIs. He also had an amazing second half, hitting .325 with a .926 OPS, along with some clutch hits down the stretch. However, the rightful winner should have been Alex Rodriguez, who had signed with the Rangers a year prior. Overall, he hit .300 with a .392 on base, a .623 slugging, and a major league leading 57 homers and 142 RBIs. What held A-Rod back here was that he was on a bad Rangers team, and the A's were the Cinderella story in 2002, but a great season from A-Rod here was extremely overlooked. At number 9, I have Dwight Gooden in 1985. Dwight Gooden was simply just historic in 1985. Overall, Gooden posted a Baseball Reference wins above replacement of 13.3 in 85, which is the second highest in the live ball era, only behind Babe Ruth in 1923 when he posted a Baseball Reference WAR of 14.1. Gooden was almost unhittable in 1985, posting a record of 24-4 with an ERA of 1.53, a FIP of 2.13, and 268 strikeouts over 35 starts. He even contributed a bit with the bat, hitting .226 with a homer and 9 RBIs over 93 at-bats. This helped lead the Mets to a record of 98-64, which did fall short of the Cardinals' record of 101-61 in the NL East, which is a big reason why Willie McGee won the award. McGee did have a great season, hitting a National League leading .353 along with an .887 OPS and 56 stolen bases, but Dwight Gooden was just on another level. At number 8, I have Albert Pujols in 2006. The 2006 Cardinals will go down as one of the worst regular season teams to win a World Series, but without Albert Pujols, that team would have been nowhere near the playoffs. Ryan Howard, the winner of the award, showed a lot of power for the Phillies in 06, hitting a major league leading 58 homers and 149 RBIs, but Pujols was robbed here. Not only did Pujols hit .331 with 49 homers and 137 RBIs, he had a major league leading OPS of 1.102, which included a major league leading slugging of .671. Another big difference between the two is that Ryan Howard struck out 181 times and Pujols only struck out 50 times. The fact that Pujols had a better slash line than Howard and his team just made the playoffs wasn't enough for the MVP is absolutely crazy to me. At number 7, I have Ted Williams in 1941. It's crazy to think the great Ted Williams only won 2 MVPs in his career. In 1941, Ted Williams went absolutely bananas. This was the last season for a player to hit 400 in a season when Williams hit .406 with a .553 on base, a .735 slugging, an AL leading 37 homers, and 120 RBIs. The winner of the award, Joe DiMaggio, had a great season for the World Series winning Yankees, which included his historic historic 56-game hit streak, but his slash line was simply outmatched by Williams, as he only hit .357 with a .440 on base and a .643 slugging, while hitting less homers with 30. Sure, they were close when it came to Baseball Reference WAR, with Williams finishing with a 10.4 and DiMaggio finishing with a 9.3, as well as Ted Williams and the Red Sox missing the playoffs that year. The fact that Williams had one of the best seasons of all time and didn't have an MVP to show for it is an absolute travesty. So if you didn't know, I am a 4th grade teacher full-time, so doing that Monday through Friday, along with doing this channel, spending time with loved ones, finding time to go to the gym, run errands, and just live my own personal life can get pretty overwhelming at times. So for me personally, mental health is an important thing for me. As for you, is there anything that's interfering with your own happiness or preventing you from achieving your goals? Regardless, if you are going through any clinical mental health issues like dealing with depression or anxiety, or just having a hard time living your day-to-day life as a human being, I think therapy can be a great option. And that's why I'm excited to tell you about today's sponsor, and that's BetterHelp. BetterHelp's mission is to make therapy more affordable, more accessible, because it can be very tough to find a therapist, especially if your area is very limited. BetterHelp is a platform that makes finding a therapist very easy because it's all online. All you have to do is answer a few questions, and then you get matched up with a therapist within a few days. It's easy to sign up and get matched with a therapist. There's a link down below in the description. It's betterhelp.com/RobbieHyde. Not only does clicking the link help support the channel, but it also gives you 10% off on your first month with BetterHelp to see if it's right for you. And the great thing about BetterHelp is that if you're not enjoying the fit with your therapist, you can switch therapists at no additional cost. So if you are struggling with anything related to mental health, consider giving BetterHelp a try. Again, the link is down below in the description, or you can go to betterhelp.com/RobbieHyde. At number 6, I have Kirby Puckett in 1992. Only 3 times have we seen a relief pitcher win the MVP award in Major League Baseball history. Raleigh Fingers in 1981, Willie Hernandez in 1984, and Dennis Eckersley in 1992. In my opinion, while Eckersley was great in 92, he should not have won the MVP, and the rightful winner should have been Kirby Puckett, who never won an MVP. Don't get me wrong, I love Eckersley, and while he did have a great season with a 1.91 ERA and 51 saves, along with the fact that the save statistic was a new thing on the block around that time, he should not have won the MVP. Even Eckersley himself says that he didn't deserve the award. Puckett, on the other hand, came in second in the voting and had a solid season, hitting .329 with a .374 on base and a .490 slugging with 19 homers and a major league leading 210 hits. I also think there's some other guys that could have been in consideration, like Frank Thomas, who finished 8th in the voting that year, and he had a major league leading .975 OPS along with 24 homers and 115 RBIs. And since we're talking about pitchers, why not Roger Clemens, who posted a record of 18-11 with a 2.41 ERA over 246 innings, or even Jack Morris, who won 21 games that year. This one is just a head scratcher to me. At number 5, I have Greg Maddux in 1995. I think people forget how good Greg Maddux was for the 1995 World Series champion Braves. He was almost unbeatable, posting a record of 19-2 with a minuscule ERA of 1.63 and a FIP of 2.26. While Barry Larkin, the winner of the MVP that year, was a good all-around player, hitting .319 with an .886 OPS, 15 homers, and 51 stolen bases, he wasn't even the best player on his own team. That honor goes to Reggie Sanders, who hit .306 with a .397 on base, a .579 slugging, 28 homers, and 36 stolen bases. Sure, the Reds did win their division, and the Braves also had Glavine and Smoltz, but Greg Maddux was just on another level. At number 4, I have Lou Gehrig in 1934. Lou Gehrig, one of the best players of all time. Not only did he not win the MVP in 1934, but he finished 5th. And when you hear these numbers, you might actually faint. He had an American League leading slash line, hitting .363 with a .465 on base and a .706 slugging, all while hitting a Major League leading 49 homers and 166 RBIs. Listen, I get it. These numbers back then weren't what they are today, but my goodness, the winner of the award, Mickey Cochran, was the manager of the American League winning Detroit Tigers, but was also a player and had a pretty decent season, posting a 4.5 Baseball Reference WAR, so I can understand the dynamic there. But my goodness, can we please go back to 1934 and talk some sense into the voters? At number 3, I have Pedro Martinez in 1999. Pedro Martinez had arguably the best pitching season of all time in 1999. While he did win the Cy Young, he should have won the MVP because he was just that good. Pedro's 1999 season is actually graded as the best single pitching season of all time according to Fangraphs, as he posted a record of 23-4 with an ERA of 2.07 and a ridiculous FIP of 1.33, which is the second highest of all time, only behind Christy Mathewson. Not only was it just the ERA and the FIP, but it was the strikeouts too. All in all, he had 313 strikeouts, which equaled out to a whopping 13.2 strikeouts per nine. Pudge was awesome in 1999, but Pedro was simply godlike, and if the Red Sox didn't have him that year, they probably wouldn't have made the playoffs. At number 2, I have Alex Rodriguez in 1996. A-Rod makes it on this list for the second time, and boy, oh boy, this one was worse than the last one. Juan Gonzalez was enjoying one of his better seasons in 1996, hitting .314 with a 1.011 OPS, 47 homers, and 144 RBIs, but A-Rod was even better in his first full Major League season. He had a Major League leading .358 batting average, a .414 on base, and a .631 slugging, totaling out to a 1.045 OPS. While he did have less homers and RBIs with 36 and 123, he played great defense, while Gonzalez was an awful defender. Sure, Gonzalez and the Rangers made the playoffs that season, but the Mariners were in contention, and A-Rod was clearly the better player. And at number 1, I have Ted Williams in 1947. Earlier, we talked about Ted Williams in 1941, but now let's move on to 1947, and DiMaggio yet again got the best of Williams, even without getting a hit in 56 straight games. This one was actually even worse, considering Williams was better in every phase of the game, hitting .343 with a .499 on base, a .634 slugging, 32 homers, and 114 RBIs, all of which led the American League. People will argue that DiMaggio won the award in 1941 because he was on a winning team while Williams wasn't. Okay, fine, but in 1947, the Red Sox were in contention as well and finished third in the American League. All in all, Williams finished with a Baseball Reference WAR of 9.5, while DiMaggio finished with a 4.7. Absolutely bananas. So that's my list. Tell me what you think down below. Did I leave any seasons off? Let me know what you think down below in the comments. If you can, on the way out, hit the like button, subscribe if you're new, and I'll talk to you next time.